Son of a ramen.
Get wrecked. What happened? What flew? Your dude's under you. But like what?
Naruto, this is ramen. It's on the box.
It's on the. Oh, it is.
Ah! Ninjas are attacking!
It didn't snap off.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Anime Gaiden. I'm Steven.
I'm Sawhill.
And today we are going to talk about Fire Force, My Hero Vigilante, and Windbreaker.
Yes.
Now, before we get into that, just to remind everyone, we will be covering Fire Force and Vigilante on a weekly basis. Windbreaker and other anime we will sub in at the second part.
Did you know?
So,
I didn't know that myself.
So this week, in terms of what I've watched and read, I honestly haven't really read anything. Crazy week. But I've watched the ones we're about to talk about, and I don't really think I'm watching. It's actually been a really busy week for me, so I've not got through a lot. It's Easter weekend, for those who don't know.
Yeah, and work's been crazy. I haven't had I caught up with the weeklies that we're watching. But other than that, I haven't watched anything.
So, in lieu of that, we're going to ask a fun little question here. So, it's Easter Sunday, for those who don't know.
There's a new One Piece chapter today, too.
Yeah, I know. There's a new Two Blue Vortex, too. I gotta read up on that. I'm excited.
Yeah, Haiju's as well, I missed.
So, in lieu of Easter Sunday, because it is Easter Sunday, I'm going to ask a very simple question. Who is your favorite anime bunny?
Anime bunny.
Or rabbit?
Oh, fuck, what's her name? Here, give me 1 second, I'll give you an answer. It's on the tip of my tongue.
I already have mine.
Who is it?
I can't tell you. You go first.
No, you go first. I need to try to find my
first.
I
I don't remember her name either, to be honest.
Is that her name? Rumi?
Rumi?
Usagi from My Hero Academia. Muscle mommy herself.
There you go. Mine is my Sakurajima from Bunny Girl Senpai.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's our one mutual client's favorite anime.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
I won't name names, but the Chinese fella.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So I really like it, and I think the reason it's my favorite isn't even because of the character. It's just because the title is so misleading.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even intentionally watch it. It was one of those times you fall asleep watching Netflix. The season or whatever ends. It just starts to autoflag, and I woke up like, what the hell? And then it was on. I was like, whatever. Let's see what this is about. And then I started watching it. I was like, oh, okay. I haven't watched any of the movies though. Apparently they're fantastic.
Oh, I didn't know they're.
Apparently they're.
I haven't watched the anime. I'd seen it. Like, I'd seen the advertise and whatnot pop up, and I know it is popular, so.
It's about, like, hormone syndrome, and basically just tackles a lot of social issues and, like, things that kids are going through.
Isn't this girl supposed to be, like, a ghost or something?
Kind of. Like, she's a child celebrity who doesn't feel like anybody actually sees her, and because of that feeling becomes strong enough that this hormone syndrome or whatever it's called triggers and kind of starts to make that a reality. And
so she manifested herself.
The reason she walks around in a bunny girl costume is because she's used to everyone like physically seeing her, and then as she notices no one is, she decides to put on a bunny costume and just start walking around to see if anyone's going to pay attention.
Oh,
because no one can see. She's noticing that no one she's basically ceasing to exist.
Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that the whole bunny girl thing is like 2 episodes. It's like the first few episodes. That's it.
Oh, and then she just changes.
Yeah, and the rascal just refers to the guy who can see her and helps her figure this out. And then it becomes like those two noticing other people going through or being affected by this hormone syndrome thing, and then like helping them along the way. And yeah,
I can relate. Back in my emo days.
So now, why yours? Why the
honestly, because it's the only one I could think top of my head. Like I have no idea who else I'd take.
I did spring it on you. I did scream with you.
So we're gonna start off with Fire Force. Or snacks. All right. So I don't know.
We have snacks.
We like to start off every episode trying a new snack that we get. Sure, or a bowl.
Damn it. Anyway,
so we have never done a bowl.
We should do a bowl.
I like certain bowls, like for core bunny. So like I can be talking about smoking weed. I should be smoking weed right now. Well, you have a newborn and everything, and then you're having family over soon, so probably not the best idea. So yeah, we have Lay's Taro chips.
I don't know what I'm gonna feel about these.
I like Taro bubble tea. I think it kind of has like an Oreo.
I'm always kind of like indifferent about Taro, to be honest. So I don't like. I'm sure it's not gonna be as crazy as some of the other chips we try here. A lot of flavors of chips. Okay, guys, there's a lot. They're not as purple as I expect.
Yeah, the picture on the front has a lot more.
I actually do not like the way these look. They look like dried up lizard skin. They do. You never got to unsee it now. If you don't have dried up lizard skin,
Tastes like a regular potato chip to me.
it doesn't even taste like a regular potato chip. It tastes like Eucharist potato chip.
Like I like it.
In honor again of the.
But it's like there's a hint of a sweetness to it.
Yeah, I don't like it. Like I don't hate it. It just feels needless.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
I like. I don't know. It's kind of like just eating really thin pieces of stale bread.
Yeah, it does have.
Actually, you know what it reminds me of?
I'm sure to it.
Just while you're eating this, I want to remind you. It makes me think of Bold Member from Austin Powers. He's eating these little skin chips.
That's not what
The way it like crunches in your mouth just doesn't.
it does. It definitely has like a stale texture to it. Taste is average.
It's extremely plain.
Like I'm not gonna go.
It would be like a potato chip with like muted flavor.
Yeah. Especially when you compare it to just your regular Lay's potato chip, which is like super thin.
Yeah, it's very oily, very oily. Super salty. Yeah, very lightly salted. Not too. That's the nice part, I guess. It's not super oily, but it's really stale. Like it.
I don't know how to rate this because I'm disappointed. I was expecting a little more flavor to it. But again, I don't not like it. Like I would just eat this like a regular potato chip as well.
See, I like eating food for the experience. That gives me zero experience.
Yeah, zero experience.
So I'm gonna give it like a 2.
Flavor, okay, I'll put 2 different ratings. Experience wise, yeah, like a 2, maybe not even a 2, like maybe like a 1. But like taste wise, like it's fine. Tastes like a regular chip, so like a 7.
The experience is that of what I said it looked like actually dried up lizard skin.
Yeah, they give you. Oh, we should do a blindfold test next time.
Yeah, we can. You can get like Christina or something we have it in here.
Big ass piece.
So like feed it to us.
Yeah,
Like crunch it for the camera. Like it's just like here, bring it really close. There. I'm not eating this. You are. Like it. Just eat it. It doesn't look enjoyable. Just eat it. I don't want it. Okay, now to Fire Force. Break it down for us, buddy.
all right.
Sahil has read all of Fire Force. So, no spoilies.
So I will say I'm using the site called Anime Planet for our overviews and just reminder of characters. It has a pretty good breakdown. So,
And
that'll be Anime Planet.
Yeah, we will be talking about the episodes that have come. So as much as I said no spoilers, that's for things that haven't happened yet in the show. Right now we're 3 episodes in?
3 episodes. No, 2 for Fire Force. No, that's Vigilante. Sorry, 3. You're right.
Yeah, so 3 in for Fire Force. So if you haven't watched it yet, just be aware that there might be some spoilers for those first 3 episodes.
And because I've read it, I will do my best to not spoil anything after whatever anime episode drops.
SeaWorld.
Tokyo is burning and citizens are mysteriously suffering from a spontaneous human combustion throughout the city. Responsible for snuffing out this inferno is the Fire Force, and Shinra is ready to join their fight. Now, as a part of Company 8, he'll use his devil footprints to help keep the city from turning into ash. But his past and burning secret behind the scenes could set everything ablaze. So yeah, Shinra being the main character. So I guess like the whole series starts as like this kid who kind of has like a scary appearance, very sharp teeth. A lot of people think he's the devil. I think that's his nickname, is the devil, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they had like his devil feet, whatever, or something like that.
Devil feet, just a smile and everything like that.
Yeah, he has this like quirk himself that when he gets nervous, he brings on a really big smile, but because he has like extremely sharp teeth, it looks like an evil thing. So it all started because his family, like their whole place burnt down. He was the only survivor, but he was crying and nervous. But because he was nervous and he didn't know how to feel, that smile kicked in, and everyone thought like he had started the fire because he just figured out that he had the ability, like he was a third level or stage 3 or whatever it's called,
Generation
3 pyrokinetic, so he can create fire through his feet.
Generation 2 can only manipulate fire, and Generation 1 is the what are those demon things called?
Oh, Infernals.
The Infernals.
So basically, where we are in the show now is he's been a part of the 8th for a while. You know, he's grown, people love him. Typical shonen hero thing. Comes from under, everyone likes him. He's got his rival, which is what's his
Arthur.
Yeah, Arthur Boyle.
So fucking funny.
You would like Arthur. No, I don't mind Arthur, but and now they just find out that their captain Obi has been captured, and basically there's some crazy fun happening where you now have the entire 8th going to save Obi, but they got to go against the first company and the big bads, which is the white clads and the white clad
who are working for the evangelist, which is like
think of it like a neo religion.
Yeah. Also, one big thing you forgot to say is with the first company, Burns is the head of that, and he's supposed to be like the second strongest from all the force.
And he was the one who saved
Shinra, and he was younger. Yeah. So he came across as like, you know, the big good guy.
And we've never seen Burns really like burn up, you know, like it's never gotten really heated with him.
Yeah, only when he was like sparring against Shinra that one time, but he still didn't go intense. We're like, so Burns had an Adola.
Sorry, you go.
Yeah, so I was gonna say Burns had an Adola burst, which is essentially has like an insight into this other dimension. This what would you call like a fire dimension?
Yeah, it's just another dimension that tends to like be all about fire, but it's kind of where their religion centers around for the evangelist.
And it seems like everyone is connected by this Adola burst.
Yeah, all the people with the Adola burst can connect to that dimension, and because they can, they're connected to each other.
Yeah. He's a big religious guy. He's always believing in God.
He's a priest.
He's a priest. He's a priest?
He's a priest.
Oh, okay. So he goes to the church, and then he finds out the church is working alongside the White Clads. He then has an Adola burst, and he pretty much sees that like the God he believed in doesn't exist, and that the evangelist is the one and true God. And so it's kind of I feel like he just needs some sort of purpose, and this is the only purpose he's found, and now he seems to be rolling with it.
Yeah, well, he kind of talks about it. So the Adola burst is like basically something people can have by having like seen or in some way been transported to this other dimension. And then what we're talking about after is that the people with the Adola burst can have an Adola link, which we just found out via the show that one person with an Adola link can actually connect and talk to somebody else with an Adola link through an Adola link from a far distance, because that's how Burns told Shinra about Obi, right?
And that's how Shinra got his brother to so Shinra shared his old memories with his brother, who was brainwashed and didn't remember Shinra at all.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't actually remember his brother's name. Was surprised they even brought him back a little bit more. But then with Burns, like he's kind of talking about how he always had this faith in his religion and his God, but it was kind of something that was out of reach, something he couldn't hold on to. So even though he was a very faithful person, it was different because now when he had this Adola link that was kind of like brought on by one of the evangelists, he saw the evangelist and he saw the power of the evangelist in this other dimension, this godly power, and it gave him a new God to put his faith into, but one that he's actually seen, he knows. So it's that where it's like you have someone who's religious who believes in X, but then they're shown something else. It's not that it didn't shake his religion, like he didn't change his belief, but he tweaked his belief to include the evangelist, essentially. Now, I also don't entirely think any of this is true. Like, I have a feeling that, and don't tell me if I'm wrong, because I know you know the answer, but I have a feeling that, like, Burns is not actually converted.
So, yeah, so, like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but what I'm going to say is that was my initial thought too, is like, is he just playing this up, trying to like truly believe? But there's that girl on the White Clads who could read people's minds. So
exactly,
converting her, so he has to convince himself to essentially deceive the White Clads. So,
well, and like, why
would he
tell Shinra? Like, you could argue that he's telling Shinra to use Obi as bait, but like, they were still getting Obi ready when they were arriving. So why would he tell Shinra so early if they were doing that?
Chloe, was it a case that he told Shinra, or Shinra just happened to like?
No, he told Shinra.
So yeah, then why would he tell Shinra?
That's what I'm saying. But on top of that, like, I
thought it was a situation with like
where they accidentally went through,
like Harry Potter with
Voldemort.
Yeah,
I don't. Maybe I didn't.
I
thought he was telling him, but either way, the second part is like the way that what's her name? She actually confronted him, the one evangelist,
the one who could read minds.
Yeah, the way that she confronted him, I feel like that scene is just very unnecessary. If they're not
Homia, well, Haumea.
Yeah, Homia. But I feel like that scene with her doing that is super freaking unnecessary unless you have Burns potentially going to betray them.
I feel like it was just been a reminder of like her abilities too.
But they did that like the whole lead up was that. I actually really liked how this started. I haven't even looked at my notes yet. But anyway, I really liked how this started. With like the little bit of like explaining the past and everything.
You have a few notes there.
Yeah. Well, these are different things, but the intro I really liked. I like it also goes like right into questions and then straight into acting. Like there's no hesitation. It like really put you into it right away, which is amazing going into the final season, because I feel like a lot of anime, you know, they do all this build up to the final season and then it's like, oh, slow build. Once the season actually starts,
it starts off.
Then it gets firing. This one starts so strong right away.
So I will say the intro wasn't my favorite. Like, it was good.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean the intro song.
Oh,
I meant the
intro over. Yeah, when they introduced all the characters, had all their names. Yeah, I thought that was helpful. The intro song wasn't my favorite. I'm not a fan of intros that just have flashes of the whole season, and the song itself just didn't do it for me. The outro, I thought the outro was really good.
Mm-hmm.
The animation side, the outro was really good. Just kind of had like that black and white water paintings, and
sorry, you can.
That's pretty much.
I'm really excited to see what happens, because we ended season 2. I know it was a long time ago, but we ended season 2 with getting that like everyone basically getting a power up, right? At least Arthur and Shinra.
Yeah,
and I'm actually really excited to see how that translates itself. I also think it's hilarious that again we have this fucking Arthur Zoro parallel, where Arthur just like fell off the truck.
Oh yeah,
and they haven't even.
Well, he's just stupid altogether. Like Zoro just gets lost, but Arthur's just straight up dumb. Like he's an airhead. He lives his own world. And he lives in this fantasy world where like he thinks he's an actual knight, and he sees a little lizard, and he thinks it's like a baby dragon. He's like,
but
no.
you know he's gonna come across a dragon.
And then he has that like that flash of like him fighting a big dragon, has all this armor, and then you don't see him after. So I feel like at that point it's almost like he gets lost.
So I'm actually, well, that's kind of what I mean. Like it's an interesting trope to use. Now, obviously they approach it different ways, but it's an interesting trope that both writers use to separate their two like most powerful characters that everyone loves, right? Like that's how you separate Luffy and Zoro all the time. So yeah, separate fights. So you're not just like them busting through everyone. Yeah. And I just do the same thing with Shinra and Arthur. But I'm really excited to see how that pans out. Like Arthur's just so jokes, man.
But he's pretty OP. Like, so essentially with Arthur, the more he believes his lie that he tells himself that he's a knight, the more powerful he gets. But the more he sees the truth in reality, he gets weaker.
Can we talk about how every Maki is just a badass?
Yeah, Makis are sick.
Like every like Jujutsu guys and Maki, crazy. And Fire Force, Maki, amazing. Maki's probably my favorite character. I love how she's just like super jacked, and then she's also super self-conscious about it.
So that's one thing I wrote in my notes. Fire Force has a lot of cool characters.
My favorite thing is actually their costume. I actually really like the highlighted blue and stuff.
Yeah, I like the costume, but like, okay, we started off with Maki's, like he's like you said, Jack girl, strong, influential, kind of funny too.
Iris does kind of just feel like a token.
Iris, yeah, Iris is man. Arthur is funny as fuck. Shinra, again, I like Shinra a lot as a main character.
He's your typical show.
So like we're having like just badasses like Maki, Obi is jacked fireman.
So yeah, for those of you who haven't seen it, Obi is just a guy who has no power at all. He was originally a firefighter before all this happened.
Yeah,
and he just goes in with like all this armor and stuff and just runs at people and just beats the hell out of them.
Like even when he gets arrested, all he's doing, he just does push-ups straight,
Who iros it?
And then you have
Benimaru. Come on.
I was going to get to Benimaru last.
Okay.
But yeah, let's start with Benimaru. Benimaru is OP as fuck.
Benimaru looking, he's sick. He's your Gojo. Yeah, he's your Kakashi. He's your
You're not taking
just
man.
absolutely OP.
And I'll say like
he's Gen 2 and 3, right? Isn't he like a special circumstance?
I think he's just like an overpowered Gen 3.
That's why he has like the 2 eyes.
I think that might have something to do with his Adola burst, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah, I just keep going on your thing.
Yeah.
Burns.
Joker is also pretty cool.
So he's like 5th generation pyrokinetic. In other words, with the power of a 2nd and 3rd generation.
Okay, yeah, I guess you're right. Joker, also really cool.
Joker, nice hero. I always forget about that guy.
What they call him, the Dark Hero?
The Dark Hero, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because we're going to be talking about Vigilante next time.
Yeah. Burns is also pretty badass.
Burns is crazy. Like, we still haven't seen a huge amount, but whereas how hotter he gets, the crazier he gets.
Like, now that Shinra and Joker are going up against Burns, we're going to see that.
Well, I'm curious to be like, is Benimaru going to step in? Because Benimaru's going to pop in some point. He has to.
And I'm pretty sure they're saying, like, Benimaru is stronger than Burns.
So, and that's what I want to see, because part of me is like, okay, they're saying Benimaru is stronger than Burns. But is that at peak power or just if they were both to fight face to face? Because Benimaru is going to be quick, right? Benimaru doesn't need to warm up. But they keep talking about these stages with Burns. If Burns gets to like stage 3 or 4, can Benimaru like come in at that stage?
I think where Burns' power truly lies is just the amount of heat he produces. Like he just gets hotter, literally hotter and hotter. So it's just a matter of like, can you handle that heat?
No, and that's what I'm saying. At what point, like assumingly, if that's his power, he can virtually handle close. Like anything realistic, like well, obviously not sun level probably where he would just destroy the entire universe, or the world. But that's my point is like, I wonder if when they're saying Benimaru can beat him, it's because Benimaru would be able to take him out way before he ever got hot enough that Benimaru couldn't stand it. But if he comes in super late game, who knows, right?
I ain't gonna say nothing, but
I actually like Hibana a lot too. Like her story. Yeah, I didn't like her at first, but I like the story between her and Iris.
Yeah, I agree. Hibana's pretty cool.
We didn't talk about Tamaki.
Who?
The Lucky Lecher, the Lecher, whatever. The cat.
Oh yeah. She's cool.
And I can never decide what I feel like. Sometimes the whole like Lecher thing was like used in a very funny way, but I also think it just got so overused.
I found that whole
like her idea is cool, but they haven't done anything with it.
No.
They're starting to.
I thought in like season 2 when she was going up against that one dude with white hair and he just has like pretty much a massive crush on her. And like that's how she defeats him. I thought that whole thing was kind of funny.
I think it was funny, but I think that's also the same episode that just like made it too much for me because it was like a whole episode of that.
Yeah, and I guess that's the one thing about a manga where it's like it doesn't seem as long some of those moments. Yeah, when you watch it in anime form, some things do seem to be drawn out a little too long.
I also just think they need to do more with her abilities. I feel like she came in as like this person that was pretty powerful with pretty sick abilities compared to Shinra and Arthur, and she's just been like left behind.
But it seems like she's slowly catching up.
Yeah.
Because like she took the lead in the last episode when Arthur was.
I'm hoping that.
So I imagine it's just a matter of just a little more experience, and I'm sure she's probably not going to be as strong as those two.
Well, also they skipped I forget the reasoning that they gave, but they skipped her training with Benimaru. Like she was there, but did actually train with Benimaru.
So they actually skipped a few things. I feel like that were in the manga. If I recall correctly, there were some things they just.
I think he kind of like, if I remember correctly, it's been a while, but Benimaru kind of hinted at there's other training for her, or there's like a different kind of training she needs to go under or something. I think. I don't know. If that's the case, maybe they'll flash back to it during this fight where they'll be like, oh, she's actually stronger now. They'll flash to that or something. Overall, I'm liking it. Obviously, we can't rate this one yet because it's not done. And that'll be a thing normally. But I'm actually really excited for this. I know it's going to be a 2-part final season, which I kind of hate. When stuff happens.
I was kind of telling you a bit about this beforehand. Fire Force, I've actually watched the first 2 seasons twice. For some reason, it's one of those animes I just forget what happens every time. So I had to like watch another recap before I watched season 3 just to kind of quickly remind myself. Even reading the manga, like I forgot a lot of things, but then rewatching the episodes, I'm like, okay, I kind of remember what's going to happen next. So like, but again, like I don't hate the story. Like I think the story is kind of interesting. I think it's nothing like out of this world. Like they take like one basic idea and pretty much just run with it, like a world connected through flames.
Well, I like that it's never trying to be something it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I agree with that.
It's like this is your idea. It keeps it simple and it just sticks with it and just runs. It tries to do the best with what it can. I think the cast, like you said, incredible. I think the stylings, like the costume choices, different things like that, even the infernals, all pretty cool.
So I think one of my biggest takeaways was the animation. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
The animation in the show is really good, and like there's even like they change up the style of it too. Like they make it more modern at times. Then they'll like take notes from like the 90s animes and has things a little more like drawn out and whatnot.
The fight scenes are pretty cool. Like some of them are cool. I think overall the fight scenes could probably be better.
Sure.
But like there's nothing terrible. It's just there's only a few that are actually like really cool. Again, like when Benimaru is fighting, it's friggin' incredible. It's awesome.
Or like when Arthur and Shinra,
When they tag team,
yeah.
But we didn't talk about Taki Hinawa, the guy who like bends his bullets with his stage 2 pyrokinetic. That guy's sick. And I love the like it's the one of filler episode I actually like is when they try to put like in season 2 they try to put like different shirts on him and different fashion stuff. It was actually really funny.
Who's
this guy?
Oh yeah, he's pretty cool.
The vice captain or whatever.
And I love that little flashback with him and Obi.
Yeah, but the thing is, overall I like it. I like where it's heading, and what I like about it the most, or I should say, I think I would like about it the most, is how it connects to Soul Eater, because that is such a cool way to do that. And I don't know how they do it yet, but I'm having some ideas. Like obviously, it's gonna have something to do with the Adola Burst. We know it can like destroy universes. Obviously, as we were talking about the intro, it's got like the steps where he's like building grass underneath his feet. So my guess is if it can destroy, it can create. So somehow, someway, Adola bursts are going to lead to both destruction and creation, destroying one universe, creating another. But at the same time, that would segueing it over to Soul Eater because I know they're connected. And I don't mind bringing it up now because they already showed the moon from Soul Eater. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. We live in a day and age where fucking everything has a universe. And to some degree, I'm here for it, but when it's done well, and I think this is a very interesting way of approaching that.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they might have confirmed that they're remastering Soul. I don't know. They're redoing Soul Eater.
They should, because it's been so long since it was done. Most people haven't even seen it.
Where like I remember, our old coworker Sess, he told me to tackle Soul Eater. I started it. I didn't finish it.
It didn't stick with me, you know. I did finish it, but that's one I don't really remember a thing.
Yeah, I feel like it. And again, I think because it's so old too. I don't know. It's hard for me to watch old animes, and especially if they're not good off the bat, then I'm not gonna stick with it.
Okay, but I think that's where we sit for that. I'm pretty excited. You excited?
Yeah,
to continue Fire Force
for sure. And it's gonna be in like 2 different cours. So
that's one.
So yeah. So like obviously April being the first cour, and then January 2026 and every second cour.
Anyway, now going into My Hero Vigilante. This is one that's really cool. I remember when it came out it started releasing was when My Hero was kind of like at its peak hype, and I started reading it right away. I didn't stick up with it. It just didn't the manga variety. It just didn't seem interesting the way it was going. The story didn't catch me enough. And sometimes I am that way with manga. If there's not enough happening right away, like I just lose interest very quick. However, with the anime, I was pleasantly surprised. Now, for those of you who know My Hero Academia, it is a world in which quirks exist. Basically, a genetic mutation happened that started giving people special abilities, and over time, these abilities get stronger and stronger, and more of the population are born with them. So now we live in a world where heroes are basically the superstars of today, and everyone's dream when they're a kid is to be a professional hero, X, Y, Z, and normally they follow Midoriya and All Might and his journey into becoming the greatest hero ever. Now, this one happens a little bit before Midoriya reached UA. However, All Might is in his prime at this point still. Still the biggest bad. Sorry, I'm just doing the synopsis. So now we follow a new character, Koichi, who is kind of just working his regular day jobs and going to college. He wants to be a hero, idolizes All Might, but he has a really terrible quirk that's just sliding, and he goes around in his free time and picks up garbage and is known as the nice guy until he is met by Knuckle Duster. Let's end there.
So I initially thought it took place during My Hero Academia. It wasn't until I started watching the anime where they say it happened slightly before. So that was like, okay, kind of cool. Let's see where this goes now. Right off the bat, I thought the intro was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Song was good. Animations, it was like your American comic book style.
I love the like pow. Could you
Yeah,
like all that
stuff. Legal.
Normally I hate that, but I don't know. It was like so sharp, and like the moments they chose to do it were just so peak.
Yeah,
It was very unsurprised.
What else to talk about first?
Also, you can't go wrong. Like animation wise, song wise, you're always gonna get top tier stuff when you're coming with a spinoff, or you should get top tier stuff coming from a spinoff of something that was like wildly popular.
And I will say,
I'm not afraid to put the money in.
And I would say My Hero had a lot of good intros and outros as well.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not surprised that they kept it going with this. Animation levels was just as high as like the last season of My Hero Academia. Maybe obviously it was a little better because obviously it's a little newer.
It's past.
So it starts off by introducing, what's the main character's name? Koichi, and his powers, which is slide and glide, or
yeah, he has to have it's slider. He has to have at least 3 of his like 3 points of contact with a surface, and then he can slide. But he can't slide much faster than like a bicycle.
Yeah, so like obviously you know it's not that OP, but I thought it's kind of cool.
I'm curious to see how this shit's gonna awaken because like My Hero brought all that kind of stuff in too, right?
So that's where my questions come in. It's like, yeah, the first two episodes are kind of cool. He's just getting his foot wet with like trying to save people, the first episode he's not even a hero yet.
No, I mean he's never a hero.
He's never a hero, but he's not even wanting to fight crime at that
He's
point.
a nice guy.
Yeah, that is his superhero game. The next dive
Fighting,
AKA
he's the Roulette.
AKA the Crawler. And then he starts working with Knuckle Duster, who's fucking cool.
Sorry, you continue. Go.
I was gonna say like Knuckle Duster and Koichi kind of combine into All Might in a way. So like Koichi has like the All Might suit, where Knuckle Duster has a smile.
In the presence, yeah.
The build. And the cool thing about Knuckle Duster is he's not even a hero. Like he's not even he has no superpower.
He's like Midoriya if he never met All Might.
Yeah. And
or I should say, that wouldn't be accurate. It's like if Bakugo didn't have a quirk and never met All Might, because he's just batshit crazy.
So yeah, you see Knuckle Duster just like knocking the shit out of everybody, super strong. He ends up going against Eraserhead based off of just like a miscommunication of a situation that's happening, and Eraser can't erase his quirk because he has no quirk. So that was really cool. I liked Eraserhead's cameo. I always liked Eraserhead. I thought he was always one of my favorites in the series.
What I like about that fight the most is that they didn't downplay Eraserhead. You know what I mean? Like in a lot of situations, like you get a spin off, and they're trying to make let's say in this situation, Knuckle Duster seem cooler, more badass. So they'll find a way to actually make him hold his own against the other guy we know is like a certified badass. And they didn't do that here.
Yeah.
Like he was able to take hits and stuff, but there was not a second where Eraserhead was actually even stressing about.
No, because I mentioned at that point it was just a combat fight, not even a quirk fight.
Yeah, but even like that,
Eraserhead just like with his combat skills is pretty skilled.
Well, that's his whole thing, right? Because his quirk is to just erase your quirk, so
yeah,
he can't actually.
Even though like the rap he throws against people, that's nothing to do with the quirk. That's just straight up
tech. It's
tech.
What I really like about this one is like the darker side, like even just in the animation it comes across, it is a little bit like, we're always used to seeing like this bright beacon of hope in My Hero. Even when My Hero does get a little more darker and the anime tones adjust for that, you still have this kind of overall sense of like goodness. However, with this one, like right away, you're like, okay, this is gonna get a little gritty. I like that you still have All Might, very like the symbol that is All Might is like very relevant in the whole thing, because that it just really helps tie the world together and make it feel like it genuinely is just the same.
It's almost like these MCU shows when they talk about the Avengers.
Yeah, but I think for whatever reason, like this one did did even better than MCU for that.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
Where it was just
I'm not a fan of most of those MCU shows, anyways.
where it feels like the world we already know, the world we already lived in, and I think that really does come to having the main character really talk about the symbol of peace that is All Might and that idolization. But honestly, what this show reminds me of more than anything is Kick-Ass.
Yeah,
Specifically Kick-Ass 2.
yeah.
Because Knuckle Duster is basically just Jim Carrey's character.
Oh, for sure. I guess again, you kind of brought it up earlier. With Koichi's ability, with the nice guy's ability, with the crawler, whatever you want to call him. Where is this going to go? Like, is he going to get more powerful, or is this it?
Let's just play with this for a second.
We don't typically see. Well, I guess they kind of get stronger down the road, but not like that much stronger where they gain extra abilities. At moments it seems like he went faster than normal. Was that just me, or was
no, I think it wasn't just you. So two things. One, there's like literally, I think it's a manhwa. I forget what it's called. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, please just tell us because I'd like to catch up on it. There is a manhwa where it's like a tournament style thing, and basically everyone has an ability, and they have to try to fight through. But it's usually like really random shitty abilities. Like you can cut a piece of paper without touching it, or something stupid like that, and they have to fight, and they get really like intricate in how they use these abilities. So I'm wondering if it's going to become something a little bit like that. I think it will, where it's just he finds cool ways to use it. I'm pretty sure that in the one episode, it showed he actually only had 2 points of contact once. So I'm wondering if as he gets better with his quirk, he can lessen the points of contact. Because if he can get to 2 points of contact, it's actually a pretty decent ability. Like, it's not great, but it's not terrible. Because then you basically become Frozone.
Yeah.
Now, where could this power go with an awakening? That's what we should theorize on. Like, it won't, because this would be stupid. But what if he could... what if it doesn't have to be like a material surface?
Or what if he can touch other things that will glide itself, so he doesn't have to glide?
You can send it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool, too. Just have a bunch of little mines, like, going at someone.
Because isn't that like how, what's her name? Gravity Girl from My Hero?
Oh, Uraraka.
Uraraka. Isn't that like how her ability awakened to, like, she can make other things, like she can make like a whole surroundings essentially float?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it becomes like a status effect, like status effect Raju. But what if he could like straight up just slide on air?
See, that would be cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if it goes to that point where it's like it doesn't have to be like a solid material surface for him to be able to actually slide on it? So because if he has 2 points of contact and can do that, all of a sudden he can do a lot more.
Yeah. No, I think that would be a really cool area. Obviously, with Knuckle Duster, he has no quirk, so he's just going to overall just get stronger. How we start working out or something like that.
They inject him with a synthetic quirk.
Or that. Or
because we're already talking about a drug. So they're going around trying to get this drug off the streets that like hyper intensifies everyone's quirk, but it also takes down their ability, their reasoning skills. So what if that somehow tweaks into him getting some like experimental version of that just gives him something or banes him out? I could see him going Bane.
Or I know like
it would defeat his purpose a little bit.
I know they already wear like armor underneath their clothing, so I imagine similar to Batman, he just gets like
more tech.
Well,
I think that's actually... I really don't want them to give Knuckle Duster a quirk anyway, because...
I don't either. I think it's a cool...
It's cool to see... It's basically what Midoriya could have been, and I like that this time they're keeping the character without a quirk.
Yeah.
Rather than with Midoriya, obviously he gets a quirk, loses a quirk, whenever else.
And then we have also the third character, the girl, the idol.
Yeah, I don't care about her, I'll be honest. She doesn't hit me at all. Kazuho?
I don't mind her as a character. Again, like, it's only 2 episodes in, so they're not going to show a whole lot yet. But I don't mind her. Like, she's not annoying by any means, in my opinion.
She's definitely going to be the brains of the operation.
Yeah, it feels like she has a head on her shoulder.
She's got the connection. She's definitely the voice of reason, because as much as, like, Koichi is a good guy, he very much just gets caught up in the craziness that is Knuckle Duster.
Yeah. Like, at least Midoriya, like, he had a brave soul. Like, he's going to put himself at risk, where this guy, you could tell, just doesn't want to at first. He hesitates a lot.
He needs to see it. He thinks he doesn't have it in him, but when he sees it, he moves. And I think that's a huge thing that we can also carry over from My Hero Academia, right? Whereas, like, that was the whole thing that made All Might choose Midoriya.
Yeah, and I think that was just one of my things. At first, he seemed a little annoying. But, like, again, 2 episodes in, I can't judge him too heavily.
Whoa, wait a second. We definitely... unless this was in like one of the like cutscenes, I definitely did not see Ida.
No, maybe they're referring to like down the road.
That's crazy. Do you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
The brother?
So like again that on intro they implied that there's going to be a few cameos.
That's crazy. That one though. I didn't even think about that.
Again, it makes sense. He's a detective, so like he's going to.
Yeah, I know, but that's cool.
Yeah,
Because we never
Oh,
got
yeah.
to see him.
I'm actually looking forward to like an run-in with like Endeavor. That
Yeah.
Endeavor is always kind of my low-key favorite. Endeavor reminded me of a kind of like the same path as Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones. Like he starts off as shitty dude,
Yeah.
and like the more you follow his story, you're
The
like,
more you understand it.
yeah.
Two sides of every coin kind of thing. I don't think there's much else to say about this, but I am really looking. What would be cool is if you got to see like pre-forms of like the villain team getting created and stuff like that. Near the end of this, you start to see like the beginning of the next.
Well, they showed the
They're going to be in the gritty side of things, so they might see like the underworld, right? The underbelly of the society.
yeah.
Or what's that company called? Crap. The company that's really like right now where they are in My Hero Academia anime. They have like the whole city, and they end up teaming with the villains.
Oh, it's kind of like that cult.
Yeah. So or like it starts to tweak into that a little bit.
I forget.
I'm curious. Anyway, I think there's a lot of potential. I'm just curious to see where it goes. I'm kind of glad I didn't read it because now that it's animated, I get to enjoy it in
Yeah,
a different way.
yeah. I remember seeing it on my Shonen Jump app, but didn't have any desire to. Yeah, no, I'm interested. Again, is it something that I'm dying to watch the next episode? No. But, like, obviously we're covering it, so I'm watching it.
I have to.
Well, I guess that being said, like, I've read all of My Hero Academia, and even with the anime, it's pretty much almost come to a close. And it's not like you see any of these characters in the final battle. So, does it really have, like, I'm curious where they'll take it and how it ends off.
What if it's like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, right? Where you never see them in the big thing, but they're all around the big things.
Yeah, so I'm just curious to see how it is all around it all. But we definitely know it's not going to result in anything that happens with My Hero Academia.
Okay, 2 frames per second. I'm going to go through mine first because I don't have a crazy big one. But I just want to say something I really liked was just the Burns thing. Again, seeing Burns go all out, seeing Burns.
I think it's like one of your favorite, like.
I just, from what we've watched this week, it's either that or it's just like the pow, chow, and all that stuff, like all the sound beats from Vigilante. I really like both of those. Honestly, the sound beats probably is it. But Burns going hotter and hotter, like when he went to stage 2, I really like the art style they tried to use for that. But then I guess I'd have to switch mine to like the precision usage of those like sound effects.
No, it was pretty cool. So my 2 frames per second is something different. So I told you how I shared our channel on my Instagram finally.
Did someone shit on it?
No. So essentially what I did is I took a screenshot from the chapter 4 video and just put the screenshot, put a link to the YouTube video. So this is a screenshot I used. Obviously you'll edit it in.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a common trend right now of people using ChatGPT and making an anime character of themselves. So, and the one especially you see is a Studio Ghibli one.
Yeah.
So I went out of my way to make a Studio Ghibli version of us.
Bro, I look homeless.
But then, so then I was like, let's have a little more fun with this. Let's make it in the style of Demon Slayer.
You look very angry. Yeah, I don't know. Low key, kind of like what's similar to the main guy.
So I don't know why I came out really angry.
God damn, a ninja's attacking.
Yeah, the place is haunted. So yeah, those are mine.
I like it. Yes, I mean, I'll fill them up.
Oh, and just for jokes, obviously you guys won't know who this is, but a coworker of ours, Connor. He had this picture of his cat on his back, and his cat's named Levi. So, like, I always make a joke of Captain Levi. And so I was like, oh, it's like Captain Levi on a Titan right now. So
you did it. You evil. Did you show him it?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So yeah, those are my tunes for 2 frames per second. But on a more serious note, we're going to cover Windbreaker. Windbreaker was pretty well animated.
I really liked it. I think we started off on a strong note with like an action-packed note with two of them. I like that little bit of a flash forward that they had. When a flash forward is used well, I really enjoy it. And what I like about this one is it shows something big was going to happen, and that it happened. It wasn't like, again, Boruto.
Yeah, don't wait. That's one episode 2 or a whole season.
Man, Boruto, it starts with a flash forward, but it doesn't even happen in Boruto. Even in the next gen one, Two Blue Vortex, where like after the time skip, it still hasn't happened. So
yeah, that would.
but like
be nuts.
now, what I will say is that one is like that flash forward is probably one of like the hypest flash forwards I've ever seen. Where you're like, holy crap,
when it finally happened.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, I like it. It jumps right into it. I was a little worried because season 1 of Windbreaker, like I enjoyed it. Nothing really hit.
Should we give a overview of it?
Yeah, I guess we should give an overview.
I think I have that up here.
Perfect. Go nuts.
All right. Haruka Sakura wants nothing to do with weaklings. He's only interested in the strongest of the strong. He just started at Furin High School, a school of degenerates known only for their brawling strength. Strength they use to protect their town from anyone who wishes to cause it harm. But Haruka is not interested in being a hero or being part of any sort of team. He just wants to fight his way to the top. So he essentially joins his high school, and obviously a lot of other strong motherfuckers over
Much
there.
stronger than him, yeah.
But they're super nice. Like, they're really nice, and he doesn't know how to react, and it kind of turns him off the whole idea to begin with. And then over the first there's only been one season beforehand, right?
This is second season.
Yeah. So over the first season, like, he slowly builds those relationships, builds the trust of the rest of school, and they elect him to be class president.
Yes, it's actually a class president.
But that's just for the first years. Yeah, it's like other years, like second years introduced in season 2. So now we're seeing like him as a leader in what's to come, and essentially it starts with a fight against Kiel, another school, who's like supposed to be even more like these delinquents are just like troublemakers.
Yeah, we don't know what they are yet. It seems like they're gonna end up being like a cult. Like they're an offshoot of something much bigger, is what we find out. Again, first three episodes.
Yeah.
Because
that third episode, they pretty much allude to just like
there's something else.
There's something else, and like all they're focused on is fighting and ruling with fear.
Yeah, so I think I'm curious to see what it was. It kind of seemed like whatever this greater source is, they were just using Kiel as an experiment to see like if they could get people to follow them, what kind of mayhem, what they could accomplish. So we don't really know what the greater goal is from that group yet. And then obviously Furin, being protectors of the town, are going to fight back and forth with that. In terms of Sakura and like that whole journey, I really like it actually, and I can relate to it quite a bit myself in the sense of, without going into it, I have found myself in situations very frequently where I definitely don't know how to react to something that everyone else feels normal, which is kind of where he is in this situation. He goes in expecting it to be like this battle school, and it kind of is, but at the same time, it's more of like friendships and connections and things like that.
Like those plans are to like patrol the city.
Yeah, and he doesn't know how to react to it because he was like, "What the hell? How do what?" And then that as you were alluding to, the whole first season is just kind of him figuring out like, is this okay? And it's funny because you see him blushing all the time during it, or anytime they compliment him or say anything, and then he becomes the leader. He becomes a class president, and in this one of the other people that barely even show in season 1, his friend is part of this Kiel group, falls into it, and they go to protect him. And basically, he goes in, and now you see him in this big fight, and it's the first time that he actually cares about the people around him when he's fighting, and it inhibits his ability to fight properly. And they get saved by the second years, and he starts realizing that like, oh, it's because he cares. So now he's gonna have to go through. And they kind of already showed it a little bit too when the second year was fighting the main guy, of like is it, do you get power from friends or less power from friends, right? Because I see that coming already, because we had Sakura be like, oh, I care about all these people, but I wasn't able to fight the way I normally would have.
Yeah, it's almost like he took that responsibility of being class leader and thought that he now has to fight everyone by himself, and almost like hyped himself up to be like, oh yeah, I can take everybody, but then realizes like, no, I can't, and by having this mindset, it's actually not doing my class any good.
I wouldn't be surprised if they tweak it though. Like whoever this Keel group or larger Keel group is, probably kind of like at least trying to, whether they succeed or not, take Sakura onto their side at some point. Because
Well, they already were like, you should join us. You should join us.
yeah, because they already know that he is somebody like right now he's taking it as a strength in the sense where he's going to train like crazy, he's going to get stronger. That's his thing. But at the same time, like if that training doesn't go very well or they get into another fight and he ends up having to like let loose and forget about everyone else for a second to actually win the fight, I very well see it going the opposite way.
Well, they kind of, again, like even with the end of last season where he's fighting Togame, the dude with the braid, where again he's not taking the fight completely seriously, but then at the second half he's like, he comes to his senses and actually like puts up a fight and wins. And then even with the second season, again, he's so concentrated on taking on the boss, the head of the group, where he's fighting another guy but can't beat him because, again, he's distracted. All he can think about is just getting past this dude and going to the big boss. But as soon as he's like, okay, let me just focus one task at a time, that's when he's like actually super strong. So you can tell he just gets in his own way a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a matter of him finding his own path.
I like how they show a bunch of different levels in power. They started off where it's going to seem like, okay, the new guys are going to be OP, whatever, it is what it is. But they added a lot more levels into it. I really hope Kasumi gets a blow up, which is the guy who basically gets knocked out and gets everyone going. It's his friend, the blonde kid. I love that they're showing.
I thought Niri.
Sorry, I might have missaid his name. Anyway, yeah, whatever he is. Anyway, I really hope he gets a big blow up. I like that they show clear different fighting styles, like the elbow to the throat from the eye. What's his name again? The guy with the eye patch. Anyway, I really like how they show that, and it's like it's fluid. It's not just like random punching all the time, and everyone kind of doing the same things.
I also just gotta say, with the amount of anime we're watching, it's hard for us to remember.
It's extremely hard to remember names. We're getting used to this, so bear with us, please.
Hence why we have pages up, and I'm scrolling nonstop just to kind of Suo.
Yeah, Suo. Yeah, so I really like that throat. The elbow to the throat is just hilarious. I loved it.
I always find it interesting how these animes have a character with an eye patch. Yeah, it always makes me want, like, obviously some do tackle like why they have an eye patch.
Is it like a trend? Is it
like maybe they actually don't need the eye patch?
Yeah, it's usually like historic. I don't know if it just became popular because like I feel like when we were growing up with anime, it was hiding something. Like it was like Kakashi hiding a Sharingan, or it was this, or it was this,
or like in Fire Force, because of Joker and Burns, them sharing the Adola link, they will sacrifice their eye. So that's why they had the eye patch kind of cover that.
And then, like, there's the whole thing with Zoro keeping an eye shut now. Everyone's like, oh, there's going to be an eye thing. Like, so I think that's just kind of where it came from, and maybe it got popular.
Or maybe it's the whole, like, pirate theory where if you only use one eye, you can see better in the dark. Have you heard of that?
No, what the
Yeah, there's this thing where it's like, people think pirates were an eye patch, so that way,
one eye was custom to the light, one eye was custom to
So at nighttime when you're on the sea, when you
take the eye patch off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know who that is, but
I mean, there's definitely some pseudoscience making sense there.
Maybe like Tokyo Ghoul was that popular.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it might have just been like a bunch of anime tries to do it early on for reasons of like some crazy power going out with this eye. And then I think that trend also became just super popular. So a lot of anime do that. And then in response, a lot of them also cover their eyes. Yeah, Kapachi, Gojo. But the other thing I really like about Windbreaker is it's the way it's tackling fighting. So I grew up doing a lot of TMA, and I've never considered myself an athlete in terms of any kind of fighting or martial arts. I like on the martial arts side. I like the lifestyle. I like the discipline. I like the training aspect. I like all those things about it. And to me, there is a very large difference between violence and fighting. To me, violence is needless. Violence is injury. Violence is these big things. Whereas fighting can be honorable and even a form of effective communication, to be honest. Now, I like the way it's kind of tackling that, where you have Keel being like, this is all the negative violence, and it's basically exactly what Sakura was expecting to go into. It was just all these big, strong guys killing each other. And then he ends up going into this other side where it's like, no, fighting is honorable. It's protection. It's all these other things. It's a way of creating bonds.
Like when he stopped Suo from completely demolishing that one guy.
Yeah.
Because he's already knocked down. The dude's still going for another punch. He stopped.
That's another thing. We didn't even talk about that. Suo, if I want,
He might, yeah, he's
Suo.
he might be the strongest one.
I feel like he's like low key actually part of the other group.
Yeah, he made that.
I like it either way. If he doesn't and he just sticks with it, I'm happy. But if he's the other group too, I'd also be happy.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought what was cool is obviously animations, like I said. I was watching the 3rd episode and I was at the gym doing cardio today, and it really stood out to like how impactful they're trying to like make every punch feel, every motion feel. So it really puts you into the fight sort of thing. It really gets you hyped up. Kind of similar to well, not fighting wise, but just like the overall hype is similar to Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
That way. I would say on the negative side of it though, similar to Solo Leveling, it lacks depth. Like there's no overall plot yet. All we know it kind of has more of a slice of life feel.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like an action slice of life.
I feel like we're getting inched into a plot and we don't really know where it's going yet. So I would agree with that. I wouldn't say there's no depth. Like they're definitely putting. I think they use the fights to build their depth.
But like that's all. But what I'm trying to say is there's no depth aside the fights.
Yeah.
Like we're really just going fight to fight to fight.
Yeah, everything important happens during a fight.
Small flashbacks in between, but then it's really primarily just fights.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're like with I guess a lot of people like to compare it to Tokyo Revengers.
Okay.
Where Tokyo Revengers, it starts off with like, yes, this girl that this guy used to go out with back in the day dies, and he ends up going back in time, and now he's trying to save her, and so there's a bigger story behind all of the fighting.
Yeah, we just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, with this case, we just don't have that yet, and so that's kind of my biggest problem with it. It's like, yeah, the fight scenes are cool, but like,
that's probably
where is this going? Because we have no idea.
To be honest, that's probably why season 1 didn't hit. It's a good point because season 1, like the only overarching story you get really of the whole show from season 1 is that Sakura wants to be the strongest.
Yeah,
like that's it. And that's really lame.
Yeah, and like that's you get that in everything.
Yeah,
like that's all.
There has to be something more to it, right?
Where again, like the cool, and you see some parallels with Tokyo Revengers in this one. So I understand why people compare it. Where it's like his friend, what did I say his name was? Neri is almost like the main character from Tokyo Revengers who doesn't fight, but he's kind of like the heart and soul. Where then like everyone he hangs out with is the strongest.
Yeah, I hope he gets some sort of a glow up though. I don't like he's never like crazy.
Yeah, he might not be the strongest though, but like I feel like maybe he might be the anchor to a bigger story down the road potentially.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be the one. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Sakura ends up leaving for whatever reason. He's the one who ends up pulling him back. And I also like Shonen. I wouldn't be surprised if he never actually gets stronger, but you know, he becomes like a crazy strategist because he's already showing stuff of that about like knowing the data about different people and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So maybe he goes off one day, he investigates this greater power of heal and gets hurt really bad. Whatever, I don't know.
Again, I remember reading some chapters, so I have an idea of like kind of what's going to happen in the near future, not in the long run. I haven't read that much, but just based off the anime, again, I just don't know where this is going to go. I have no idea.
So I am gonna give this one a rating for now. I know it's obviously not done, but we're not gonna touch it for a little while again because over the next few weeks we'll be covering different stuff before we come back to this one. I'm optimistic. Like I like the way they started the first two a lot better than how they started season 1. I think the first few episodes of season 2, for me anyway, surpass anything they did in season 1. And they're showing signs that they're going to start leaning us towards that greater story finally. So I'm actually quite looking forward to it. I'm actually really happy with all 3 that we covered today. Like I'm actually like, oh, these are all going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I thought, like I said, I read some Windbreaker, so I had an idea what to expect going into it. I was impressed with the animations. The intro was really good. Outro was meh. I wasn't big on the outro. And just the hype of it, the action scenes, that's pretty badass. But like, again, I'm questioning where it's going to go. Same with Vigilante. with their underlevel powers and knowing that doesn't like, again, not directly have an impact on my hero story, it doesn't make me the most excited moving forward, but I'm intrigued to see how it does relate to the My Hero story. Like what happens on the sidelines that might have like some minor impacts or whatnot. And I'm always down for like cameos. I'm stoked to see some of those cameos.
You want to see your Miss Bunny Girl?
I want to see Miss Bunny Girl. I want to see Endeavor. I want to see a lot. Hawks. I want to see Hawks.
Hawks
We don't throw it. Yeah, it's two. I think from the three we covered today, though,
We're gonna see
Fire Force would be my favorite from the three.
shit. What was his name? That's Sting. Stain.
Zero Stain.
He is a vigilante. Yeah, it's a C Stain.
Yeah, Stain's sick. Actually, yeah, Stain's fucking sick. So yeah, I would say Fire Force. So the three are my favorites.
I think the one I'm hoping surprises me the most is Windbreaker. I'll be honest. Fire Force. I'm really curious to see how they approach this like universe destruction creation thing. I'm like really excited for that. That's part of why I'm so annoyed that they're doing a 2-part because I just said.
You know.
I know there's gonna be cool fights. I know there's gonna be other meat and potatoes going off to it. No, I can't. Like, I want to just live it, you know. And then My Hero, I have no idea where it's gonna go. I'm just curious to see how they expand the world because there's times where My Hero as a world has felt pretty shallow. And I think this could help fill out the greater universe. And the idea of My Hero, that whole world of existence, is really cool. I think you could do a lot with it. So I'm happy to see it expanding more as the anime as well. And I'm curious to see where it goes.
I thought you brought up an interesting topic though, which we can kind of briefly get into right now. How like you'll read some mangas but not others.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do a special episode, and we'll have a few discussion points. We'll bring on a guest or two, and that'll be one of them. So like, just jot that down. We'll get to it. We already talked that we haven't really read any manga over the last week, so there's not really.
Like that was a new One Piece. I'll have to read One Piece. The last 2 chapters of One Piece are pretty cool. Like this, I'm really enjoying this arc, the Albath arc.
It's really cool. You're getting a lot of, we knew we were going to get a lot of lore.
Oh yeah. A lot of lore, a lot of cool characters like Loki. Now that Loki is still in prison, got taken down by Shanks' brother, I forget his name.
Don't go into it too much.
We're not doing spoilers?
I wouldn't do too many spoilers for the manga.
Okay.
Just because there's a lot of people who don't read it, right?
We'll read it. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, so
if you're gonna watch that in many episodes, like you can read that many chapters.
In much less time, actually.
Yeah.
But
less filler.
Yeah, I'm the same with you. I'm super excited for where One Piece is going. I know you haven't watched any Naruto or anything, but I'm gonna tout it every time I can because everyone shits on Boruto. Yeah, I know why we all shit on Boruto in terms of the anime. The manga's actually fire. Tube of Vortex is actually amazing. Like if I have 2 chapters, One Piece, which has been fire for a while now, and I have 2 Blue Vortex, both coming out today that I have to read. I'm more excited for 2 Blue Vortex because it's been that freaking hype. It has not missed.
When I was on Crunchyroll last night, I saw there was a season 2 of Licorice Recoil. I watched the first season. I really enjoyed the first season, so I'm actually stoked to watch that second season. I'll probably watch it after it's done, but
yeah,
there's some good things in the anime manga world right now. It's a good place to be.
So with that being said, we'll see you next week where we're gonna again touch base with Fire Force, Windbreakers, and then I believe the next one we're talking about is Witch Watch.
Is that what we're doing?
It's very different.
Is that just one?
I could be wrong though, so it's new. So don't hold me to that. Have a good one, guys.
Later, dude.